All right, we're live. Say hello.
Hello, we're live.
Oh my God, you got great energy. I love it. Good morning, everybody. My name is Alex Vidal, president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you're watching today, episode number 54 of the Closer Club, getting close to my football number of 56.
Got a party for that one.
You know, yeah, actually, Kobe Carp is
Have a party with
number
Kobe.
56. We will. I hear he's a great guy.
Yes.
Today's episode is brought to you by not only Related ISG International Realty, but the ISG World Miami Report, the unveiling of the 2019 Miami Report, much anticipated.
Yep.
Wednesday, May 29th, 9 a.m. at Brickell City Center. We're going to put the link to be able to RSVP to the event in the comments below after we're done. But today we are sitting with a fellow Archbishop Curley graduate where I went to high school. I didn't really go to college, so that's my hang my hat on high school. Archbishop Curley, which is actually no longer around.
I know.
But with Jessica Levy, she is the founder and president of Levy Publications, or Public Relations.
Relations.
See, I get nervous too when I mess up. We were talking about messing up when you go live. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Jessica, from our days back at Curley to tackling New York City to now founder and owner of one of South Florida's most prominent public relations companies. Got it right. Tell us a little bit about your path to where you are today.
Graduated from Curley, but then went to FSU. Graduated at FSU.
This Gator's not actually the Gators, by the way.
I'm actually a big U fan, but I shouldn't say that out loud.
Okay. Better than FSU.
Yeah, probably. Graduated there, moved to New York, like you said. Worked in New York for a few years, came back, worked in the agency life. That's really where I got the real estate experience. Did a lot of real estate marketing for projects all over the world. It was a great time, traveled.
Sure.
The market was awesome.
Yeah.
And about 2010, started Levy Public Relations, found a niche for real estate and PR. At the time, the market wasn't great. Developers needed to tell their story, so we found a way to do it, and mainly throughout Latin America for the Miami projects.
Sure.
And ever since then, so now we are 18 people. We have
All women, by the way.
All women.
Why is that? I'm assuming that's on purpose.
It's actually not.
Okay.
We've hired men. They don't make the cut.
Interesting. Ooh.
Not very. They can't multitask, and that's something that you have to do in PR. But we welcome it, and we actually try to hire men over women, but it doesn't work out.
You got a good-looking group, so.
Yeah, we do. So we have offices in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and that's where we are.
Fort Lauderdale office is amazing. I love this place. So you are the queen of branding, PR, marketing, and staying in the know. So let's get into the meat of it.
Okay.
Having a strong personal brand, regardless of the brokerage. I mean, you could be with some of the biggest brands in the country, but agents still need to have their own personal brand.
Correct.
What are some tips for the audience on how to build a stellar personal brand?
I think with real estate agents specifically, knowing their niche is important. I find some realtors that I know or speak to are kind of all over, especially if they're getting into it for the first time. I think really understanding the market that you are in or you want to be in, tackling that and focusing on that will help you with your brand moving forward. Digital is important, having your own website, your own landing page, even if you're part of a larger brokerage. Creating your own content is important. So I think all of that helps drive. And then down the line, I think, obviously PR and what we do is important,
Sure.
but in the beginning, it's a little harder for some, people to afford it or do it. So I think really starting with the digital path and then moving into other marketing.
Got it. So know your niche, know your market,
Yeah.
and build your brand around whatever that may be.
Yes.
Got it. Now, you are known for providing your clients with pretty innovative and competitive edge when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
What are some marketing tips? What's the marketing that you're seeing right now that's getting the most attention and why?
Going back, digital.
Now define digital for me.
Yeah,
'Cause I may look at it differently than you.
Yeah, I'm going to go through it. So digital marketing in different aspects. The social media digital,
Okay.
obviously,
Yeah.
right, does well. I think that SEO, PPC, all of that is very important.
PPC, pay-per-click.
Pay-per-click, retargeting, search engine optimization. I also think that PR, but in a digital format, is also kind of the way things are going. Yes, everyone wants to see themselves in print, but when it's digital, we can do so much more with it. So, we can send it to government officials in the city in which we got the story. If it's positive, they'll put it on their social media. It's almost sky's the limit when it comes to the audience at that point. So I think that digital is really obviously where everything is going. Everyone realizes that,
Sure.
But I think even in what we do in PR specifically, it's really becoming important. Recently, we had a story in Boca that talked about the market as a whole. We send it to the mayor's office, we send it to different officials, we send it to different restaurants, and they all kind of use the story and put it out. So our audience, which was, capped at, I think it was like 600,000 because it was in Forbes.
Only 600,000.
Only 600,000 increased from there in many different areas. So I think understanding how to do that is important, and that's something we do really well.
There you go. So digital is the way to go. Have your own show. I tell all my realtors, get your own show. All right, public relations. This is your forte. Every realtor wants her success story in the press. What exactly are the news outlets looking for when it comes to real estate news, and what can realtors do to bring more attention to their business?
We find that writers, reporters, editors, they like things packaged well. Okay. So when you're sending a story, obviously there has to be meat in that story, but really including as much statistics as you can, if it's number driven, details, even quotes from your clients or yourself, if it's for yourself, kind of really packaging it as much as possible so that they not only understand what you're trying to get across, but kind of makes their life a little easier, knowing that they have it. If you're trying to create a trend, give them the 3 or 4 people in that trend, not just your one client or yourself.
Okay.
So really trying to define that story further and further.
Okay. It's crazy. So I love Joe Rogan podcast. I probably talk about Joe Rogan in all of my podcasts, right? But he was talking about AI and the influence of AI on journalism and on PR and social media, and how essentially AI has advanced so much that you can essentially give the computer saying Fort Lauderdale real estate market is on fire. Mm-hmm. And then from there, the AI will start searching Google, looking for articles that talk about the Florida or Fort Lauderdale real estate market, and start writing stories as if you were the one that wrote the story. Freaky times. It's crazy. So Joe Rogan has all that stuff about AI. It's crazy. Now, staying in the know is key in any business, particularly our real estate business. I get asked all the time, how's the market? And then I have my own way of how I answer how's the market. But what are some ways that you are staying up to date with the latest trends in real estate, especially because this is your world with your clients?
Yeah, it's tough in the sense that there's a lot to read, a lot to listen to. There's a lot of work, so you gotta find the time in the day. But I for real estate and marketing, what we do, I gravitate towards the Real Deal, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, the Miami Herald for local stuff. The ISG report is important. It's we all look forward to it. Everyone has a ticket in my office already to go see it next week.
They're gonna have like 1,000 people there.
Everyone's like, we're gonna get there at 7 a.m. so we get front row. That literally was the topic yesterday. But that report and all the reports that all the brokerages kind of put out are important, and they give us content. For us, also sitting in our meetings with developers, brokers, and so forth, it's amazing how many stories we walk away with. So we really believe in having those like one-on-one meetings. We try to do them bi-weekly with everybody because we walk away with 2 or 3 ideas. And from there, the stories, they just go. So it's really a lot of word of mouth and understanding what's on the ground. And we listen, to developers and brokers for that.
So I did not prepare you for this. So I'm going to throw
Here we go.
I'm going to throw a curveball. This happens because you do sit in a lot of developer meetings, right? If there was a common theme among them all on a positive note, because I'm sure we all want more sales, all that, right? That's the common denominator on the other stuff. But from a positive side, what do you hear? Is there a consistent and common denominator among all the developers that you're hearing? Maybe the type of buyer that's come in, or the type of sale, or what they're looking at?
I mean,
I'm totally putting you on the spot.
No, that's fine. Our projects range though, so we have the affordable luxury, and then we have the high-end luxury, and so it really does differ in that sense, especially the market. The markets are always gonna be a lot more Latin American driven. We're in South Florida, it is what it is. So we still hear Mexico, we hear Brazil's kind of making its comeback now. Things like Chile and Ecuador are markets that people are really tapping into. Argentina, Colombia. So those are from a Latin American perspective. The Northeast has also kind of picked up, but as we get into summer, I think we'll see it kind of drop off a little bit.
And Latin America will pick up.
And Latin America will pick up, right? Exactly. In fact, one of our girls is going down to Mexico at the end of next month to kind of tee up for that over the summer. So yeah, I mean, I think that those are the markets that we're seeing. Those markets are across the board, but the demographic in those markets kind of shift depending on the project we're talking about. China is another one. I mean, we work really close with Peggy. One Real Properties.
I hired Peggy as a brand new agent. So my son's 22. He was like 3 years old. So this was, or he's going to be 22. So like 18 years ago or something like that.
Oh wow.
So in the Prudential office.
She hasn't been on the show yet.
No, I got to get her on.
You got to get her on.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does obviously a lot in China. She just actually opened her second office and in China, and so we've seen a lot on the projects we work on with her for that. So
Awesome.
Great.
All right, now one question. Back to PR for a minute.
Okay.
There's what's that saying? There's no such thing as bad news or even
Bad press.
Yeah, bad press is good press. Is that true, or should you really try to stay away from the bad press?
I don't think it's always true. Sometimes we can spin it, and if it's negative, and create the positive. But we prefer to get in front of it. So this is why relationships with our clients are so important. If we know something's happening in advance, even if it doesn't actually happen, we're prepared. We'll prepare statements, we'll prepare press releases, we'll communicate with media if we need to, or depending on the situation, we'll hold back. So it's not always good press.
Sure.
Again, sometimes we want to be in front of it, but it happens. And when it happens, we have to be ready to kind of run with it and transition it.
All right, another question off the cuff, because you have recently what I've seen with you is you've gone. Not only are you working with big developers, so this is actually a way for you to plug your business for a minute. You not only work with big developers, but you've been working a lot with individual agents as well.
Yep.
What kind of change have you seen in their business since maybe let's take Karen Elmer for example, from before hiring you to now you're doing a lot of her stuff from a public relations perspective. What have you seen a shift in her business?
Karen's
And I'm totally putting her on the spot again.
Karen's great. Karen definitely understands her niche and her market, and before we even came on board, understood that. I think we've been on board with her. It's over 2 years, I think, at this point.
Oh wow, that
yeah,
long. Okay.
a long time. So we've been, a lot of things we do are really creating opportunities like this penthouse opportunity. Recently, we did this whole Queen of the Penthouses. She's
Sure.
very well known for selling penthouses in South Florida. Has done an amazing job at it. So when we're able to push those types of angles, which we've done over the years with her, this angle specifically that we're going out with now, it helps promote the penthouses she's working on. It helps her with the clients that she has that own those penthouses currently.
Sure.
And she lets us know. People will call her and say they saw her in certain articles. She'll call us and let us know. So I think it's helped build her brand as a whole. If you ask number-wise, I don't ask those questions.
No, but
I should ask those questions.
Well, it validates you, right?
Right?
But you look at it, you're like, hey, she all of a sudden popped a couple penthouses. There's that
Yeah.
niche, and then she brought you guys on to really.
Yeah, and she has a
bring
great team. She has a great team at Cervera, and she has a great team within her
Sure.
core team as well. So.
And Alicia Cervera is great. We've had her on the show.
She is.
All right, last question, and you're off the hook. I
Okay.
know going live is kind of crazy, but a book, podcast, or TED Talk recommendation. Answer. I know the answer, so give your answer. Just.
So when I have time,
Yeah.
juggling the 3 kids and the job,
Yeah.
I read, but mainly what I read is the newspaper stuff. It's stuff within the industry. I do listen to some podcasts that are PR driven,
Sure.
marketing driven, especially digital, trying to learn more about digital and how we can help our clients. So I do things like that. There's one called Inside PR. It's a podcast that I've listened to, TED Talks that a guy named Michael Oswald does. But my favorite thing to do when I'm in the car and I'm
Let it rip.
is kind of rock out country music or just like let it go, because I walk in the door and then I'm on again for like 4 hours.
With the kids. Now, so out of curiosity, my wife and I have been thinking about going to Roundup. Have you ever been to Roundup in Davie? Because I know you live around there.
Yes.
How is it? Is it good? Is it worth it?
It used to be a lot more packed. It depends what you're looking for. I like the fact that it's not that crazy packed.
Sure.
They have a thing for kids. Did you know that?
No.
So from like 6 to 8 p.m. they teach how to line dance and your kids are welcome to come with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool. For the
My
kids.
favorite place is off the wall next to Roundup, which has
That is
it's a
fun.
trampoline park with a full bar.
That is fun.
So
That is. We were talking about my daughter's turning 9, talking about having her party there. 7. Sorry,
oh my
not
gosh,
9.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, don't worry, I get confused too with my kids' ages. Jessica, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Appreciate it.
And again, if you want to RSVP for the Miami Report, Wednesday, May 29th, 9 to 12, Craig Studnicki, principal of ISG World, is going to unveil the 2019
Get your
version.
seat. Get your seat.
Get your seat. 1,000 realtors that you're going to be able to network with, and it's going to get you in the know. Because as we talked about, there's a lot in the press. How do you decipher it all? And the Miami Report does just that in bite-sized pieces that you can use with your clients.
It's amazing where that's come over the years, right?
The Miami Report? If you talk
between Athena, Veronica, Craig, Michael,
And the
all
whole
of them,
team.
they've just taken it to a whole different level.
Well, Craig has shared the story several times about how the Miami Report started. There was 2009. He called it the falling knife environment, where essentially you're trying to find where the bottom is, and,
Yep.
and you're never going to go and grab for a falling knife. And there was so much press out there in Forbes and Wall Street Journal, et cetera, talking about the inventory that was available in South Florida. And it ended up being that they were like off by like 50%.
Yeah.
And that's really what gave birth to the Miami report. And then it essentially has turned into, I think they're 10 years into it now,
Yeah.
where it's turned into like this Bible,
Yep.
you know, if you want to call it that.
So we were
real estate
working
agents.
with Craig back then. So we were on Biscayne
Ah,
back in the day,
yeah.
and I think we did the first Miami event.
Sure.
It was with the Miami 2020 and the whole launch of it, and showing what the skyline was going to look like. Although some of that didn't come out,
Yeah,
but
but a lot of it did.
A lot of it did.
A lot
Just
of
took
it.
a little longer, but
There we go. And there's the delivery we were waiting that wouldn't happen while we were here. Perfect timing. Oh no, it's just a guess. We're in a really cool executive suite. Jessica, you rocked it.
Nice
Thank you
meeting
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Guys, again, RSVP for the Miami report next Wednesday. We'll see you there. You'll be
See you
there.
there.
I'll be there. 1,000 of our friends will be there. Have a great day, guys. Any parting words, by the way?
have a great day.
There we go.